Alright, so if you wanted the answer to this equation, it looks like this is a shell for right now. Okay, there we go. Just wanted to make sure that you saw that. Alright, now these little pieces, they all have a little bit of difference. These two are very simple. This one's a little more complex. We have to lay out the UVs a little bit different for these because there's a story behind them. Okay, so when the story isn't ready to be told, you're just going to have to follow my lead. UV texture editor. I'm going to do a create UVs automatic mapping. And in this case, I'm going to try to get all the shells that are like this all the way around. And you notice I did those both at the same time. You can do that. Like you can do all the meshes automatic mapping at the same time if you wanted to, and then just choose each one of them and start gluing them back together. So as a box goes, we're going to have to do something like this. So move and sew. Move and sew. Move and sew. So there's my 4 outside, and then I'm going to have to find my very front here. So this is my face for my front. So that means I'm going to use this edge and this edge to glue these 2 chunks on there, just like that. And then I'll flip this around. There we go. And I'll assign the checkerboard to it and try to uniformly scale them down, just like that. Good. I have to do this one exactly the same way. Move and sew, move and sew, move and sew. Then find the front one, that one, grab its edge, move and sew. Rotate it. R on the keyboard to uniformly scale it, and move it to the center again. Assign the texture to it. Wow, quite a bit different. Look at the checkerboard pattern on this one to this one. Huge difference. We'll get to that phase, but for right now we're just making UVs here. Alright, this one's a little bit different. Notice it's bent. Well, that's going to be a pain to texturize. So we can have the object bent, and over here we can have it flat. And I'll show you how we do that. So this one's a total different story altogether. Create UVs, automatic mapping. And what I'm going to do here is take these UVs and I'm going to hit this button. That will flatten them out. I'll hit Control right click to shell and move this shell out of the way a little bit, and then grab these ones and flatten it this way. Okay. Notice that this shape right here, as far as the distance between here to here, it's about the same distance to here. That's what's important. That resolution or that ratio be the same. Okay. So that being said, I can take these, move them over, and start looking at the front. So this is my front piece. Good, good. And then I can go like this, move and sew. Notice I won't be able to move and sew this piece on there yet because it's not straightened out. So UV to shell, move this one out of the way. But I can do these 2 pieces. Alright, here we go again with that. Again, it's best to get it out of the way of the other ones. Grab the UVs. In this case, I'm going to move them that way. And this one I'm going to move that way too. Does it matter if I move them the other way or this way? No, just as long as they keep within that ratio. Okay, again, I'll find my front face, grab its edge on both sides, and then move and sew those. Now look at the distance between here and here and here and here. Is that distance represented here? Well, yes. This face is quite deeper than this one right here, so that matches and makes sense. Okay, go like that. And then attach that texture to it. If I did that right, all the textures should be mapped out correctly, and they should have the same square here, the same size square as the same size square here. So it's all uniformed. Okay, that was pretty easy, right? Just a little bit different. This one. This is a very tall piece. We hate these pieces. Okay, tall pieces and long pieces are very hard to UV, only because they're not hard here, but they're hard to texture. The reason for that is the resolution gets wonky. If you have a very tall piece, you have to do some very special stuff with the texture. So we'll get into tall pieces and long pieces. But for right now, pieces like this that are just amazingly different, we try to just get as least seams as possible. So in this case, I'm just going to start moving and sewing these things without any really rhyme or reason. Other than prevent overlap. We don't want to get too long either. The longer we get up here, the more texture space it's going to take up, and it's going to have less resolution. So don't keep stacking them so it gets so big that it never fits onto 0 to 1. If there's a better way to do it, like this one maybe would be better. And that won't work because it'll overlap, but this one will work. So that's just a huge difference right there. We're just looking at no overlaps. And this time I'm going to put this one on its side. It won't matter that much. Put it up here. And then assign the texture to it. Alright, good. So there's 4 more shapes out of the way. See, it becomes very easy after time. It's just the initial shapes. So this one is exactly like those. I'm going to have you do that one. I'm going to have you do this one. This one's just a box. Notice that this is going to be the top represented. Okay. So that's your little homework before the next video. These meshes right here actually all go together, so you can combine them. Then modify center pivot. And I want you to do that one as an independent student too, leaving these meshes right here. Okay, so before you go on to the next video, please do your UVs on these shapes. See you in the next video.